Now from two variables, let's move to the case of permutation and combination with three variables. Let's take the case that you're going for your breakfast. And there are three elements. One is bread, the other one is the cereal, and the third one is drinks. So let's say you have two types of bread available to you. There are three kinds of cereals, and there are two drinks, which is, let's say, milk and juice. I'm just pointing this out because this doesn't mean that I'm telling you go and have drinks and breakfast. Now, if someone were to ask you, how many ways are there for a person to have breakfast if he has to take all three components So it's not that you take bread alone, or you take cereal alone, or you take drinks alone. It is also not possible that you take bread and cereal and not drinks, or you take cereals and drinks and not breads. So all these three have to be taken. Now, just like we saw in the previous video, the first concept video on permutation and combination, there are two types of bread. Let's call this as A and B. Okay? Now each bread can be had with three types of cereals. Let's just concentrate on these two. So you can have C1, you can have C2, and you can have C3. Similarly, for the second bread also, you have three combination, right? I mean, you can have a bread, let's call this as B, let's call this as cereal. So either you can have bread A or you can have bread B. Similarly, you can have either cereal 1, 2 or 3 with first bread, or cereal 1, 2 or 3 with the second bread. So basically, with two breads and three cereals, each bread can be had with any of these cereals, three cereals. So there are 2 into 3 is equal to 6 ways in which you can have breads and cereals together, which is also depicted from here. If you count this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now, with each of these combinations, you can have either of the drink. Let's say you have D1 or D2 with C1. Similarly, D1, D2 with C2. Similarly, D1, D2 with C3, and same for here. So C1 you have D1, D2, C2 you have D1, D2, and C3 again you have D1, D2. So how many combinations are there? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So there are 12 ways. Again, once you have these combinations, you knew that there were 6 ways. Now each of these 6 ways can be had in either of these 2 ways of drink. So the total ways, if you would have otherwise find out, would have been 6 into 2 is equal to 12. Which is also what you got manually. Now, if you generalize this formula, which we have seen in the previous 2 videos, we say that if an event 1 occurs in m ways, event 2 occurs in n ways, and event 3 occurs in P ways, total ways is equal to M into N into P. Okay, and if there are only two events, so then it becomes M into N. P is not there. And that's true for any number of events. So if there was E4 as well, then it would have been M into N into P into Q. Okay.